So I'm going to show you right now the difference between lagging the sweet spot and lagging the hosel. I'm with my good buddy Adam Mallory. I've taught Adam since he's a wee little golfer. He's turned into a heck of a player. And at some point, you hit a slice. So let me show you what I showed Adam, how to drag this sweet spot to the ball. Okay, now go ahead and make your backswing. When you make a backswing, you get this club at the top of the swing. Let's say we have a little more conventional look right here. Adam's a really low handicap. That club face is now laying on the plane. When the ball gets hit and then stays on the face for a second and then separates, we want that face to square up. So it's got to turn off of that plane that much. That's a lot. Now, people can say, well, you turn toward the center and the outward force and the club, the sweet spot, the hosel rotates around the sweet spot and all that will magically happen on its own. But we're talking about slicers right here that have found a way to avoid all of Newton's laws here. So if we start this swing and he starts getting a little force on the club and a little pressure, if I put my wet finger right here on this sweet spot and he keeps that club face open, go to the ball just a little bit, he slid right off of me in 2 seconds right there. I mean, just immediately. Now, he's the kind of player that, a good player that could probably learn to square it up, but every slicer in the world, at any point, they would have lost my finger right there. Even way down here, even if they had this a lot better and they still found a way to work underneath it, then all of a sudden, they still have pressure, see, but with their lagging right now, put a little force on this club, they're lagging this hosel. They may hit it with the hosel, but the thing they're definitely not going to do is square that club face up. So go ahead and take your grip and take kind of a weaker left-hand grip than normal. Everything's customized for good players now. You get to the top of the swing, and what we're going to do, we're going to square this club face up in his hand right here. Now, if he had this, he'd have to do this twist away downswing too. So what he's going to do from here is he's going to feel like that even at the very top of this swing, my wet finger's right here, and he's going to try to hook me. The sooner the better. He's going to turn this club face. If it isn't already off the plane, that's laying on the plane, he's going to start hooking me, and he's going to try to hook me and keep me all the way down. Notice when he does that, let's do it from this other angle here, right here, Adam. Weak left-hand grip for him, right? So here's how we check that grip, right? We've got that back of the left hand at the sky and the club face right there too. Go ahead and set up. He's twisting that club away from him, that sweet spot, and off the plane. So here's the plane. His normal position. Good players are going to turn it on the plane. Right now we're trying to get you to not slice it. So we're turning that thing off the plane. We're going to the top of the swing that way. And then you're going to try to hook that sweet spot. I'm going to grab it about right here. And you can see, go ahead and turn it down a little bit more and hook me a little more. See how you slid off? Turn it down more. Stay right there, a little more down. Okay, he's got me right now, and he can drag me, walk me all the way to that ball, and he can do it with his right arm under his left and with his hands nice and forward, with some trigger delay, with a little snap release even maybe. So you can see how there's a lot of teachers that'll tell you the reason that you slice it is because your hands are too far forward and you look something like this at impact. I mean, I've got so much video I've taken over the years of really good players and really average players and really poor golfers, and I'm telling you, the only people I've seen with their hands up there are people that can give Adam a shot aside and they can really play, okay? You know, all the tour players in the world, Lee Trevino's. But if you've got this thing hooked right here, you can have this right forearm on plane and all the axis tilt in the world and forward hands, and as long as you're continuing to twist that thing away from you, to turn that palm away from you and turn the back of that left hand toward the ground, you can hook that club face, go ahead and drag me all the way to the ball, and get to the inside of that ball, no problem, even with those hands right there that you would never ever have. That is lagging the sweet spot instead of the hosel. And sometimes what I'll do, actually most of the time what I'll do, I'll actually put my finger on a toe to give them a little exaggerated feel of not lagging the hosel. But I can promise you, if you can get the feel of doing that, you can solve even backswings where you might have made the old backswing, old slicer's backswing. Oh, I got to get behind that. You're going to feel that sweet spot, the pressure from this sweet spot that doesn't want to go anywhere, and it really doesn't want to go anywhere when I grab it with my hand, on this forefinger, your number 3 pressure point in the golfing machine. That forefinger is the thing, not putting the pressure on there. Hopefully the pressure's put on there by Adam pivoting, but you'll feel the pressure, and hopefully the pressure you feel is of the sweet spot and not of the hosel.